इतना सा फर्क है एक बार सोच के छोड़ देने में और लग के कर दिखाने में। मान लेने में कि जिंदगी ऐसे ही कटेगी और सुबह 4 बजे उठ के सोचने में ये अभी तो बस शुरुआत है। किसी मैगजीन को हाथ में लेने में और उसी मैगजीन की कवर पेज पे होने में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वीआईपी सीट में और उसकी पिछली सीट में इतना सा ही तो फर्क है। वो जिसका मैदान ही खुला आसमान है वही कल जमीन पर तो था। पूछोगे तो बताएगा वो पंछी कि एक दायरे में सिमटने में और पूरी दुनिया को दायरा बनाने में बस इतना सा फर्क है। इतना कितना है? इतना है या इतना है? जो नापेगा वो जाने कि जहां धरती और आसमान मिलते हैं, नानकुड़ से दूर, अगर मगर शायद से दूर, वहां भी दोनों में फर्क बस इतना सा है। धरती और 7वें आसमान में फर्क बस इतना सा। ये एक अंतर प्रेरणा है। ये हमारी, आपकी, हम सब की अंतर प्रेरणा है। एक कदम, एक छलांग, एक बाजी, एक गहरी सांस और एक ललकार खुली हवाओं में कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन फिजाओं के लिए, कि हाँ मैं बना हूं उन ऊंचाइयों के लिए जो ऊंची तो बहुत है पर नामुमकिन भी नहीं, क्योंकि मुमकिन और नामुमकिन में बस इतना सा फर्क है। धूप छांव में फर्क बस इतना सा। तो बस चलिए फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया के साथ ये फर्क मिटा देते हैं। फ्रेंचाइज इंडिया, 20 years of ideas.
Good afternoon, friends, and welcome to Franchise India. I'm Gaurav, Marya, Chairman of Franchise India Group. Friends, this is a webinar, which is a very special webinar, which we do on every Saturday to help entrepreneurs who are looking to start a business, how we can guide them in terms of making the right decision. Also, to really make sure that when they select a business or an opportunity, they follow the whole process so that you are selecting the right opportunity for yourself. So what we're going to cover in this webinar, I'm going to introduce you about Franchise India, the journey of Franchise India, the work we do, and how we can help every entrepreneur when they are particularly looking to start a business. We'll also talk about what are the steps you need to take when you are selecting a business, how you really select the right opportunity and a right brand. And then we'll do a full journey in terms of how you really build the business and how you really build value in the business. All that I will cover in this webinar. So we will also make it very interactive, friends. So you can use the Q&A box to ask as many questions you want to do that. There is a Q&A box which is there, and we can really spend maybe 20-25 minutes in the webinar where I can present, and then maybe another 15 odd minutes in a lot of questions which you would have. And your questions can be on a specific industry. A question can be the return on investments, and any other question which comes to your mind in terms of how you really select a business. But I should congratulate all of you that you have all been here part of this webinar, so which means that you have by mindset ready to explore the right opportunity. This is a really starting point, and it's a starting point when you start exploring what is the right opportunity for you, and you have come to the right platform. Franchise India is the largest platform when it comes to starting your business. So Franchise India was started in 1999. I founded Franchise India along with my other team members. And we founded the business Franchise India purely for the reasons because we felt there was no platform, so to say, available for helping people to start their own business. When you want to really start the business, even if you ask right now, while we talk about startups, we talk about opportunities, every day we talk about and hear about these things, but how difficult it is in India to really select the right opportunity. You are actually confused because so much is going around you and you see every opportunity around you and you do not able to make the right decision. And this webinar is actually about that. I get almost every month thousands and thousands of people which would come to Franchise India. Over a lakh investors would actually come down to Franchise India. They come down to Franchise India shows. They can come down to our webinars or read our magazine or our .com. And they would come, and very few are able to really make the right decision. A lot of them are not able to make the decision because they're not able to make the right mind. They are not able to really firm up their idea, or they're still very confused or fearful, I would call it, because they feel that they might invest into something which would not work for them. And especially for people who are first-time business buyers. And we, according to our data, 40% of people who do a startup are first time doing their business in their life, 40%, which means that they are more vulnerable than the other part, because they have some experience on business and they come with the sometimes unrealistic expectations on the business and so on and so forth. A lot of people also do a mistake because they just follow their passion, which is good in one sense, but passion along with what your business can deliver you, that's very, very important. Just following passion sometimes doesn't work. You might be passionate for a particular thing which might not be so rewarding to service your financial goals which you have. So business has to be a combination of something you like, but also something which can really fulfill your desires or your immediate requirements and so on and so forth, and give you growth, which is very, very important. I think it's a combination of three things. The business you like, or you want to really contribute in that because you feel that you like doing something like this. Second, it does your financial goals, which is very, very important. And third, it delivers you growth, because even if it does immediate basis financial return to you, but if it's not growing, then also you will not like it. So it's a very, very important to really get all these three things in right. So friends, first question I will ask each one of you, if you can use the Q&A box and answer this question. Everybody is comfortable in English, or you want me to add Hindi in the webinar? So use the Q&A box if anybody wants me to use Hindi, because a lot of our friends come from regions where Hindi is more popular. So use the Q&A box if you want. Somebody, Amit says Hindi, that's good. Anybody else? Okay, Robin says mix both, so I'll try to mix both. And my first question really is, Dhananjay says anything would work, which is good. Dhananjay, welcome. Robin, welcome. Dhananjay, Amit, welcome. So I would like to make it very interactive. So जितना हम आपस में बात करेंगे, जितना मैं आपके साथ एक्सपीरियंस शेयर कर पाऊंगा और कई अपॉर्चुनिटीज के बारे में बता पाऊंगा, उतना ही आप बेनिफिट कर पाएंगे इस वेबिनार से. So my first question to all of you is that how many of you have decided to start your own business in next 60 to 90 days? आप में से कितने लोग ऐसे हैं जो अपना बिजनेस शुरू करना चाहते हैं 60 से 90 दिन के बीच में, या कोई और नंबर आपके पास डेट है in mind? Because this is also a mindset. A lot of people come to my webinars. I have done 1,500 direct webinars. My company has done 4,000 webinars in the last 2 years. And in these 1,500 webinars, I think a couple of lakh of people who've joined these webinars. And I know a lot of people are not even decided. They just join because they want to just explore, but they're not firm in terms of that they want to make the decision. This is very important. This is very, very important. And this is my starting point. If you want to start your entrepreneurial journey, you need to have a specific date in mind. That's very important. Even if you have the date, say 1 year from now, or 6 months from now, or anywhere, you have to have that date. And I actually further define that date as a spelling. So D stands for discipline. You need to become extremely disciplined from the day you decide that, okay, 22nd August, I'm going to be in business, or that's my cutoff time. And I always advise entrepreneurs and say, pick up any date. It might be your father's birthday. It might be your mother's birthday, or whatever that time is you feel is a time where you want to really commit yourself and become an entrepreneur, and start working towards it and build the discipline towards it. A discipline to really explore more, build your knowledge base, train yourself. So all that has to be very, very important. So D stands for discipline. A stands for accountability. You need to set accountability. T stands for train yourself to be an entrepreneur. Whatever industry you're getting into, you need to train yourself. I have a very dear friend who built a very large direct to home healthcare company. बहुत बड़ी उन्होंने घर में जो healthcare provide होती है उसकी company बनाई, largest in India. And he was an IT guy. He was working in IT field, large company with 300 people working in India, but 300 working in US. A person like that, जब उन्होंने startup शुरू किया अपना, तो 6 महीने nurse का course खुद करके आया. So you really have to train yourself. You need to understand, because it was a complex business to get in. So he decided that I will do a full course of 6 months home healthcare course to really get started on that. So this is how good founders are trained. Yeah, I'm advising a couple of from Hyderabad. ये couple ने अपना एक restaurant business शुरू किया. और जिसकी फाउंडेशन जो है ताइवान से आती है, इट्स अ बबल टी फॉर्मेट. So they actually went to Taiwan, worked for 3 months in a shop as a free for that shop owner, just to learn the business model. So as an entrepreneur, you don't get chance to train yourself. So always remember the date. D stands for discipline, A stands for accountability, T stands for training yourself, and E stands for encouragement. You need to encourage yourself every single day. So always write down this entire thing, set your date. So I see Rama Chaudhary wants after 1 year, Robin has decided, and somebody wants to start in 4 months. So that's very very important. आप अपने लिए जब तक वो डेट नहीं बना पाएंगे, वो गोल सेट नहीं कर पाएंगे, तब तक आप अपने लिए बिजनेस चुन नहीं पाएंगे. और उसका हम प्रोसेस अब डिस्कस करेंगे. से आपने डिसाइड करा कि आज से 3 महीने के अंदर मैं अपना बिजनेस शुरू करूंगा. What goes in these 3 months is very very important. The first thing you need to really start to define your life goals. ये भी एक बहुत confusing है. Everybody has goals to grow. Everybody wants to do good for their family. Everybody wants to make a lot of money, but they don't have a definite idea of that. So they are very broad about it, right? So a lot of people come to me and say, I want a good business which can give me good ROI. And the next question I will ask and say, what do you mean? What is good ROI for you? And they don't have an answer. So which means that they're not very specific on that. Maybe this is also another question I would like to ask the audience. Give me a business what kind of ROI you expect from a business? Because ROI to me is very, not so defined term. Give me a business and what is your expectation on ROI? I should take one question. I can start. ASP concern is about COVID thing. Will this impact the business in coming month? So as per the industry, where we can begin? Very good question. So this is another area which Dhananjay I have seen last 2 years. 22nd of March, when the COVID lockdown happened, we shifted into webinars. And the first year itself, we sold so many franchisees. I would say the last 2 years has been phenomenal for us, because बहुत बड़ा job loss हो गया. तो जब job loss हो गया तो लोगों को अपने लिए कुछ करना था, तो franchise market बहुत बढ़ गई, बहुत ज्यादा significant हुआ. बहुत सारे लोग किसी न किसी कारणों से अपना बिजनेस शुरू करने लगे, बहुत इनोवेशन हुई, सबसे ज्यादा एक्चुअली स्टार्टअप्स बने. अगर इंडिया की हिस्ट्री देखें तो लास्ट ईयर 44 यूनिकॉर्न्स बने, 22 बने 2020 में, और लास्ट ईयर 44 यूनिकॉर्न्स बने. ये हिस्ट्री में कभी नहीं हुआ. तो मेरा सबको यही कहना होता है कि बहुत लोग इस टाइम बहुत अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी बना पाए, और लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर जस्ट वेटिंग थिंग्स टू गेट नॉर्मल. So it is also, don't give yourself an excuse, Dhananjay. You have to decide, because the world is going on. Everything we are consuming, the businesses are becoming bigger and bigger, and people are even consuming everything. So you don't have to wait. See the record numbers. Some of the industries have done record numbers. So this is probably the best time. And I feel that with the third wave gone, hopefully, I think it's settled down. This is a right time for you to decide and get started in that thing. Don't give yourself any excuse anymore, because this world would continue to run, continuity of business never stopped. And we, particularly at Franchise India, saw a tremendous amount of opportunity of people to do that. So let's get started. When you're starting, so first you need to really define this, your own goal. That's very, very important. What is your life goal? What is the major events going to come in your life? Say you are 35, and next 10 years would create a lot of important events in your life, right? So you might like to buy a house, you might like to do something else, you want to make some larger investments. So all that is there. Maybe you have other responsibilities of family, which you want to really do that. So all these events which would happen in your life would need a lot of cash out for you. What is your business going to commit, and how your business is going to give you all that? That's very, very important. So unless and until you very clearly define your life goal, before you even start looking at what opportunity business you want to invest, set your life goal, set your next 10 years, very clearly define that. Once you have done that, then the journey of your entrepreneurial life cycle really starts. The first thing is selection of an opportunity. Kaise select kare right opportunity? A lot of people just jump on the brand itself, and they come to me, kya aap mujhe ye brand dila sakte hain, kya ye brand dila sakte hain? Every day we get thousands of WhatsApps and messages, people asking a specific brand. And I question them back and say, why have you selected this brand over so many other opportunities available in the market? So because you've jumped into a conclusion that this brand would be right for you, without even understanding the background of the business or the industry itself. So the first thing you really need to do is to research an industry. Why you are choosing that industry? What is the strategic contribution you bring in that business or in that industry that you can be successful in that? That's very, very important, because if you are not uh, clear about the industry, the growth, what is happening in the industry, what is the major competition in the industry, how consumer is changing. Consumer is significantly changing in everything today, and the behavior is changing very fast. And sometimes you have very clear competitions, and sometimes it's a very indirect competition which comes in. Like restaurant business, Zomato and Swiggy was a very big indirect competition and also became complementing to their business. But nobody was prepared. Nobody was prepared to handle this very large delivery business which would suddenly come. And look at the history of look F&B companies, and this is aggregator has become like the most valuable business in the market. So sometimes, and especially with technology and disruption, everything is looked like a disrupt. So you need to choose the right industry. What industry you're choosing? Maybe you can choose multiple industries because you feel that you can complement on those industries. Once you have chosen the industry, then you go to the next point, is selecting opportunities or brands in that industry. And every industry would have multiple brands which you can choose from. And that's very, very important. Why are you choosing a particular brand over the competition? That's very important. Who is the founder of the company? What is the business model they run? How long they've been running? What kind of vintage they have? What kind of team and organizational capability they have? What kind of performance they had in past, which means that past franchisees, how they performed, how they work, not work. What are the good 2-3 examples of their franchisee? And if you know them, then go and visit them and say what worked for you, what you really brought into the business and worked for you. Once you have done that kind of research, then only you finalize the right brand which you want to choose. So that's very, very important. So first is industry, second is choosing the right brand, third is really checking on your financial goal. Go back to your life goals and financial goals and see this brand is going to give you over the 5 years or 10 years same kind of returns what you expect, and what is that predictability which you can clearly see that this is going to work for you. That's very, very important. And then finally the fourth dot is really about your micro market which you are selecting, where you are going to park your business. What is that telling you? What is the, so to say, immediate competition to you in that market? Unless and until you've done this 4 dot being connected, which is industry, the brand, the financial goals, and your micro market, then only you firm up that this is the opportunity which you want to pursue. Once you have decided on an opportunity and you get into the legal structure, you need to regularly negotiate hard. And this is where Franchise India really works with you. We work on 3 stages with everybody. Information, we give you a lot of information on different opportunities in businesses. बहुत सारे businesses के बारे में हम आपको बताते हैं. उसके बाद evaluation, we evaluate the right business opportunity for you, and finally the negotiation of the agreement. That's also Franchise India does. But once you have shortlisted and you've negotiated hard your agreement, then you also need to really see how you're going to fund that business. That's also another mistake a lot of time I've seen entrepreneurs have done. They've overestimated their strength to really turn around businesses very fast. So they had capex, but they didn't have working capital. 70% of businesses fail in India, especially at a small and mid-sized businesses, because they were undercapitalized. They never had the money to run that business. And this is a mistake, because हम बिजनेस तो डिसाइड कर लेते हैं ये करना है, अगर उसको 30 लाख रुपए उसमें इन्वेस्टमेंट लगती है, 30 लाख रुपीस रिक्वायर्ड, वो भी हम ले आते हैं, अरेंज कर लेते हैं, लेकिन उसको चलाने के लिए जो 6 लाख या 8 लाख या 10 लाख की वर्किंग कैपिटल चाहिए, क्योंकि हर बिजनेस के अंदर जेस्टेशन होता है, वो हम नहीं ला पाते या उसका शॉर्टफॉल हो जाता है, क्योंकि पीपल आर वेरी स्ट्रेच्ड when they are buying a business. They're already stretched, they've already borrowed, they have already put everything out there, and sometimes the businesses get delayed in launching and so on and so forth. So you've actually eaten up your working capital. Never do this mistake. Never do this mistake. अगर आप कोई भी बिजनेस शुरू करते हैं, बेशक छोटा शुरू करिए, जितना आपने कैपिटल डिप्लॉय किया है उसका कम से कम 40% वर्किंग कैपिटल के लिए जरूर रखिए. अगर आपका बिजनेस जो है 20 लाख का है, तो आपको 8 से 10 लाख रुपया वर्किंग कैपिटल के लिए उस बिजनेस के लिए रखना है, क्योंकि यू नीड टू गेट दैट पीस ऑफ माइंड फॉर नेक्स्ट 6 months टू रियली वर्क योरसेल्फ ऑन दैट बिजनेस, and then only the business would be successful for you. Another mistake you should not do is to take these loans, especially expensive loans which are taken borrowing from different sources. Sometimes I've seen business owners coming to me and they have borrowed at 18%, 20%, 24%. अभी 24% पे अगर कोई लोन लेके बिजनेस में डालेगा तो कैसे कामयाब होगा, क्योंकि इतना तो मार्जिन ही नहीं होता बिजनेस के अंदर. तो हैव टू बी वेरी वेरी क्लियर. Don't stretch yourself. And this is a mistake a lot of sometimes parents also do. They really, because they want to showcase that their children are running a big business, they borrow and put a lot of money, and it puts pressure on the kids. I've seen children are not able to perform, especially when they're starting off, not because they have a big pressure that their father has taken loans on something, and they are carrying the risk. So they are very nervous in running that business. And because they are nervous, they are not able to perform better. And because they are not able to perform, the entire thing collapses. So you have to be very, very, and any failed business is not failure of financial. It is a failure for a lot of other things in life. It is emotionally drains you. If family-wise you have problems, you have a lot of other issues happen, relationships become bad. So all that is very important, that you take the right decision of funding. Be very, very clear. Don't take any wrong decision on funding. And a lot of time people come to me and I say, how much do you have as a money? Very importantly. And if they tell me this money, I say, why would you not start a small business? क्या रश है आपको? पहले आप एक बिजनेस शुरू करिए और वो अगर कामयाब हो जाए तो उसको डुप्लीकेट करिए. Once you have decided that you have adequate funding and you have 40% of working capital also there in the business, you are mentally very clear that you can now devote your time to run and then business. अब बिजनेस के भी 4 साइकिल होते हैं. पहला साइकिल जो होता है वो आपका फाउंडेशन साइकिल है, इंक्यूबेशन साइकिल है, जहां पर आप बिजनेस को इंक्यूबेट करते हैं. क्योंकि और बहुत लोग इसी पीरियड के अंदर मिस्टेक करते हैं. दे गो ओवरबोर्ड. बहुत बड़ा लॉन्च कर देंगे अपने बिजनेस का, बहुत ज्यादा मार्केटिंग कर देंगे पहले 3 महीनों में, क्योंकि आपका बिजनेस अभी नया है और आपको उसको इंक्यूबेट करना है. दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो डोंट डू ओवरडू इन द फर्स्ट 3 months of your business. Learn every single part of that. Rather, उस time के अंदर you should be quiet. You should be learning every single department of that business. और कोई शर्म नहीं होनी चाहिए करने के लिए. And that's one thing which is very, very important, because you need to be part of every single, like for a KFC, हमने एक प्रोग्राम बना था और जिसमें ऑपरेटर फ्रेंचाइजी करते थे, और उन्होंने पहली फ्रेंचाइज देने के लिए ऑपरेटर सिंगल फ्रेंचाइज अपने एक मैनेजर को दी, जो स्टोर में खुद काम करता था, और उसने धीरे धीरे करके अपनी इक्विटी ली और देहरादून में स्टोर खोला, और वो स्टोर वन ऑफ द हाईएस्ट परफॉर्मिंग स्टोर्स आज भी है. सो क्योंकि वो ऑपरेटर है, he wanted to run, he will go behind the counter. A lot of people buy a franchise, they don't really work in their own franchise. They just are outsider to their own franchise. They don't work in their own business. So one of the areas which I strongly advise to every entrepreneur, never have a problem to do any work in your own business. कोई भी काम छोटा नहीं है, कोई भी काम आप अपने बिजनेस में कर सकते हैं. रादर हर बिजनेस कोई भी आप खोलें, उसमें खुद काम करें. यही अमेरिका में देखा मैंने फ्रेंचाइजिंग के अंदर. जब मैंने फ्रेंचाइजिंग शुरू की तो मैं बहुत इंप्रेस था फ्रेंचाइजिंग से, क्योंकि वहां पर हस्बैंड वाइफ टीम, समटाइम फैमिली के 2 मेंबर, वो लोग खुद काम करते थे. सो दे वर राइट काइंड ऑफ एम्प्लॉयड इन देयर ओन बिजनेस, एंड बिकॉज दे वर सो इन्वॉल्व्ड, द बिजनेस ऑलवेज flourished and they multiplied their success. A lot of Indians who live in US would have, say, 50 7-Eleven. They would have so many Dunkin' Donuts. They would have so many other stores. Multiply, because एक कामयाब किया, फिर एक फैमिली मेंबर के साथ और किया, फिर वो they understood the trick of the trade and they were so involved in their businesses and they were able to do that. Like Patels, जो गुजरात से गए हैं, they सबसे बड़े होटल के ओनर हैं. मतलब सबसे ज्यादा होटल्स पटेल्स ओन करते हैं अमेरिका के अंदर. ये सक्सेस क्यों है? क्योंकि उन्होंने एक चीज को मास्टर किया. अगर आप कभी जाएं पटेल्स के होटल्स में, आपको 3 से 4 लोग टोटल मिलेंगे होटल के अंदर. इतने एफिशिएंट होटल हैं, 50-50 रूम के, 100 रूम के होटल होते हैं, all franchised and run by 4 people, 5 people, and they would handle everything. They would handle from housekeeping, reception, reservations, everything from the store. And because that's why they make the business model very, very profitable. So always think through that you are going to be an operator in your own business. A lot of people come to me कि हम पैसा लगाना चाहते हैं, हम काम नहीं करना चाहते, लेकिन उनकी एक्सपेक्टेशन रिटर्न की बहुत होती है. ये कभी हो ही नहीं सकता. दिस इज रॉन्ग, बिकॉज अगर कोई आप फोको मॉडल कर भी लेते हैं इन्वेस्ट, विच इज फ्रेंचाइजी ओन्ड एंड कंपनी ऑपरेटेड, तो आपको रिटर्न कभी मिलने वाली नहीं, क्योंकि कंपनी विच इज रनिंग दिस बिजनेस is not going to give you that return. You will always get a smaller return. The only difference would be दैट आपने एक पैसिव इन्वेस्टमेंट में नहीं किया, आपने किसी शेयर मार्केट में पैसे नहीं लगाए, आपने एक एक्टिव बिजनेस में इन्वेस्ट किया। तो थोड़ा फर्क ये हो सकता है कि शेयर मार्केट में आपको शायद 12, 13, 14% की रिटर्न आ रही है और यहाँ पर आपको 18, 20% की रिटर्न आ जाए। बट अगर आप सोचें कि आपको इसमें से 40, 50% की रिटर्न मिल पाएगी और जहां बिजनेस भी आप नहीं चलाएंगे, तो ये गलत है। दैट वुड नेवर हैपन। सो डोंट गेट इनटू एनी काइंड ऑफ डिस्कशन। इसमें बहुत सारी मिस्टेक्स भी होती हैं, बहुत सारे लोग पैसा बर्बाद करते हैं क्योंकि दोनों तरफ ग्रीड हो जाती है। फ्रेंचाइजर फ्रेंचाइज बेचने में इंटरेस्टेड होता है तो वो ओवर कमिट कर देता है अपने आप को, और जो फ्रेंचाइजी होता है उस ल्योर में कि he can make a lot of money without even participating in the business, participates and puts the money in that. I have seen so many disputes which have been created purely because of these unexpected returns. So अगर आपको अपने बिजनेस से बेस्ट रिटर्न चाहिए, स्पेशली स्मॉल बिजनेस के अंदर, तो आपको पार्टिसिपेट करना पड़ेगा अपने बिजनेस के अंदर और हर लेवल पे आपको सीखना चाहिए। तो फर्स्ट स्टेज जो होती है वो इंक्यूबेशन है। You have to incubate your business. Once your incubation is done, then you go to second stage where you stabilize your business. Stabilize means आपका cash break even है, you're not putting money from your home, and the business is now stable and it is taking care of itself. Third stage जो होती है, which is the most exciting stage of business, is growth, where you want to grow the business. You have understood the science of your business, you know what it takes to bring in more customers, to create more value, so you're able to grow your business. And fourth stage is sustainability, जहां पर business अब आपके बिना भी चल सकता है, which means that with a small monitoring, because you've learned everything, and now you can really pinpoint what is going wrong in your business. Even if you see the report in the evening which comes to you, you know where you need to fix things, where you need to improve, and so on and so forth. But it's not requiring you on the business. At that stage, the business becomes valuable. I always say, किसी बिजनेस को आप शुरू करें, उसमें सिस्टम्स डालें, प्रोसेस डालें, अगर वो बिजनेस आपके बिना चल पा रहा है तो बिजनेस की वैल्यू बिल्ड हो गई है। अब नाउ दिस बिजनेस इज रेडी फॉर ईदर यू टू डुप्लीकेट मोर बिजनेसेस लाइक दैट, बिकॉज नाउ यू चैंपियनड इट, you know how to run and operate the business, or you can get a profitable exit out of the business, because now you build a very successful and a profitable business which you can transfer to somebody else and take a cash out and build value for them. Or wealth creation हमेशा ऐसी होती है कि जब लोग एक चीज को अच्छा बिल्ड कर लेते हैं और उस स्टेज से उनको राइट एग्जिट मिल पाए, दैट इज द टाइम यू मेक द राइट डिसीजन। अभी मैं पिछले दिनों बॉम्बे में था, 2 दिन पहले, आई मेट अ सीनियर मेंबर एंड ही स्टार्टेड अ पर्सनल केयर मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कंपनी। बहुत मेहनत की, बहुत स्ट्रक्चर किया, बिजनेस को एक लेवल पे स्टेबलाइज कर दिया। सारे जितनी मेजर कंपनीज हैं, बेशक यूनिलीवर है या कोई और है, सब उनसे बनवाते हैं। और एक स्टेज के ऊपर बहुत बड़ी यूरोप की कंपनी, लार्जेस्ट कंपनी, एक्चुअली केम आउट एंड इन्वेस्टिंग ऑन दैट, एंड नाउ ही स्टार्टेड इन्वेस्टिंग इनटू स्टार्टअप्स। एंड आई वाज टेलिंग कि ये इवेंट एक फुल सक्सेसफुल जर्नी का पार्ट है। कहां पर आपने एक बिजनेस शुरू किया, बेस्ट कंपनी बनाई, लार्जेस्ट इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर क्रिएट किया, और फिर किसी बड़ी कंपनी ने आप में इन्वेस्ट किया, एंड यू वर एबल टू फाइंड दैट एग्जिट where the real meaningful wealth creation can happen. So whenever you're starting, first think about how you select the business. Second, how do you do the cycle of running a business? Third, make a sustainable business model which either can be duplicated or can be passed to somebody else for a profitable exit. So I'll take now a few questions, friends. You can go out and somebody says, I don't understand Hindi, I will not speak. I'll stick to English. So please write on the Q&A box if you have any questions on particular brands and opportunities. Today, Franchise India is representing over 750 brands in different industries and different categories, and these are all available for you to really explore. So there's so much of opportunities which are available, from classic opportunities, which are very brick and mortar kind of opportunities, and a lot of new age technology based opportunities available. And we also have a lot of investment products which are there, where you can get some kind of investment product, and you can get yields on investment products from anything from a 15% to about 24 odd percent. But these are passive, so to say, investments which are invested into running businesses backed by large companies, because we don't bring in any investment product which is not backed by a large company, because that's very, very important to see the credibility. So Yash Agarwal says that the ROI of a franchise business is really low. Please shed some light on whether it is true or not. Absolutely, you're right, Yash. If I compare from a startup and franchise, because कोई ब्रांड ओनर भी है तो उससे आपको शेयर करना पड़ता है, तो अगर आपका अपना स्टार्टअप होगा और ये होगा, तो इसमें क्योंकि आपको रॉयल्टी देनी पड़ती है, तो उतना ही डिफरेंस आएगा। अदरवाइज दोनों की रिटर्न काफी हद तक सेम है। सिर्फ एक रॉयल्टी, जैसे अगर आप रेस्टोरेंट चला रहे हैं, आप ब्रांडेड रेस्टोरेंट चला रहे हैं और अपना रेस्टोरेंट चलाते हैं, तो अगर मैं दोनों की सेल बराबर मानूं, दोनों बराबर चल रहे हैं, तो आपको इसमें क्योंकि रॉयल्टी देनी पड़ती है 6% of the business, so you will get lesser 6% in this business. But the truth is, if you're running a branded restaurant versus your own restaurant, your sales in this would be anyway higher. That's one. Second, because the efficiencies, economy of scale is come in this restaurant, you will get supply chain better. You will have more discounts on the supply chain, so you will be able to save that also. So technically, if you really see a franchise business to any other own startup of yours, franchise businesses are more performing because they are already have a brand, they have more know-how, so you have to spend lesser marketing because the brand is already known. So in that sense, franchise businesses would actually outperform startups. Rather, there is statistics that 80% of startups would fail in the first 5 years. कोई भी स्टार्टअप आप शुरू करते हैं, 80% स्टार्टअप्स जो हैं पहले 5 साल में बंद हो जाते हैं। और फ्रेंचाइज के अंदर ये स्टैटिस्टिक्स बिल्कुल डिफरेंट हो जाता है। 60 to 70% of franchisees would actually survive the first 5 years. So it's absolutely reverse, because here you are going with something which is already proven. तभी selection of a franchise and the brand is very, very critical. It is not true for every company, because every company would have different ratios. If you take on a Hero Honda franchise, you will take it for 30 years, 40 years and continue to survive. A very small attrition would happen in a company like Hero Honda, and similarly Titan or any other international QSR or brands like that, they're all very, very strong because they have backend, their systems, their processes. तभी मैं हर को advise करता हूँ कि there is no shortage of opportunity. The selection of the opportunity is must, that how you select the right opportunity. Today, Franchise India manages portfolio from Reliance, we manage from Tata, we manage Mahindra, we manage Dabur. So large companies are giving the franchise. So if you have an opportunity to partner with companies like these, your business would going to be better. Now let's take few more questions. Predicting how the business is going to give return is a black hole, and within the same industry, people get different returns. How can Franchise India help us? Absolutely, very, very good point. So variance would always come, because same opportunity ko though different operator, different meaningful results they can get, right? So that's why I always say it's all dependent on the who's running the ship. You know, somebody would be able to make it very profitable and some would not be able to make it profitable. That's one part. Second, where the location is housed. Some locations perform better than the other locations. Third, what kind of support the brand is giving you in that industry. So you have to really, there are a lot of connecting points which would really determine how you're able to get that kind of returns you need to get. So that's very, very important. Recently, I got a franchisee who taken 6 franchisees for Baskin Robbins, and only 2 locations are not doing well, 4 are doing extremely well. The difference is that these 4 were great sites at the great rentals. Out of the 2, one is doing extremely well, but the rental is exorbitant because it's in a big shopping mall and very expensive location, and it's not able to create yield. So it's actually, you need to really see every maths. So cost of occupancy is one, your cost of service is one, how cost of acquisition of customer is one. So all these are scientific structures, and this is something which you need to understand before you even invest into businesses. How can I apply for a KFC franchise in a city? KFC doesn't do unit franchise. They only have area partners or larger partners. They don't give unit franchise, but we have many other brands which are available. They say, what is the scope of e-waste management and what is the efforts ROI run? Great space. Takes a little bit of a gestation. But I would say any kind of waste management, e-waste management is a huge industry and a very big future for India. Very, very big future for India. But what kind of a plant you're trying to put structure, you have to put, if you're putting too micro, then efficiencies don't come. A lot of people have done that. They've created micro plants of recycling e-waste. And that efficiency doesn't come because it's a volume play. If you're not doing a larger volume, you'll not be able to find a substantial interest in the business. Micro businesses in any kind of structures like that sometimes are not very financially attractive in that sense. Now, another question Saurabh has, how can we do research for success for a particular brand in a specific area? Very important question. So no rush, any brand you select, you should be asking hard questions to company. And all questions, I would always like that they answer written to you, which means if I want to understand how the business is performed, take a spectrum. Every franchisor has success stories and they have failures. You need to really learn from both. Success stories tell you what can be done, and failures and also tell you what should not be done. But both are very important to understand. If you only hear the success stories and you don't hear the failures, then you will never get to the real answer. So you need to really understand when you're selecting a brand, and this is one of the areas which we give you big service. So franchising has consultants in 94 cities today, which really work with you, counsel you, understand where you're coming from, organize a lot of meetings for you with the brand owners. We have actually a program called Advantage. This Advantage is a special program we created because, as I said, we get over 1 lakh inquiries every single month. It's impossible for Franchise India to cover all those inquiries. While we are privileged to have that kind of trust of investors coming to us, but it is a big responsibility also. So we really have started this program called Advantage. Under Advantage program, we first understand what is your goals, what is your objectives, what you want from that business, what is your resources available with you. Resources are very not just financial, it's your time. Maybe a member of family is also joining with you. Maybe you have some strategic location or a strategic something else advantage. So what is the resources you have? On that, we go out and start first shortlisting the industry. Once we have shortlisted the industry with you, then we start shortlisting the brands. So minimum brand we select is 10, nothing less than that. So I encourage that 10 brands have to be shortlisted. Each brand, you need to set up a 45-minute discussion minimum. It can be sometimes a couple of hours with a brand. But you have to see that if you've done 10 detailed discussions with 10 different brands, you are very intelligent. You are already at the third or the fourth brand, you're already asking the right questions. You are getting a lot of answers. Out of the 10, then you shortlist maybe 4. And now you need a deeper understanding. You need to understand the legal structure. You need to understand what is your offering, how you will build the business, what kind of support they're going to provide you, what kind of training they're going to provide you. One of the missing points, which I think sort of entrepreneurs don't ask from the brand, is what is the training structure? How are you going to train me on your business? And that's something which is very important, because what you really need is the training. Because you want to run and operate the business, you need to train yourself well. That's something which is very important. Good companies have a very strong training capabilities. So that's something which you need to really work on. Once you have done that part, then you really start working on putting up your business model in place. So once we have shortlisted the 4 brands, and we have further done legal vetting on that, and we have also done and understand all the points, then we maybe shortlist 1 brand or 2 brands. Then we do structuring, deal structuring, how the deal is going to structure. A lot of negotiation, a lot of critical points have to be covered in that. And then finally, we decide to sign the contract. This whole process can take you anything from 60 days to 90 days. And our consultants work with you on alongside. So if you're not really enrolled yourself on an Advantage program, I will strongly suggest that reach out to us, and we will be happy to help you take you through the whole Advantage program. Let me take a few more questions. These are the last few questions I would take. I'm already running out of time. What about FMCG product? FMCG obviously always would be highlight. The conventional distribution is going to die. So a lot of people write to me and say, get me CNF or distribution. That I think is an old story. In next 5 years, conventional distribution in India would break. This is difficult for people to understand, but this is the reality. The way FMCG, pharma, and other companies are moving, the entire conventional distribution framework in this country would break. You'll have distribution centers, which are technology enabled, and you have last mile logistic companies, and then you have last mile fulfillment, which is come from a hyper retail or direct to consumer. So the whole structure of classic distribution of CNF, super stockist, distributor, dealer would all go away, because the margins were actually broken into so many parts, and that advantage would go to customers. So I would say in FMCG that is happening. So FMCG, you can play at different levels. You can play at the distribution hub level. You can do direct to consumer play. You can even do a retail play. Any kind of a structure would work. Somebody says, I want to take a restaurant franchise. And what do you suggest? It can be in South. It should be much of South and North India, as I am from Tamil Nadu. Yeah, Tamil Nadu, we have many brands and opportunities depending on which city of Tamil Nadu you are there. We have a lot of good South Indian premium restaurant opportunities. We have also a lot of North Indian and different cuisines, different structures, depending on Mr. Radhakrishnan, what is your investment you have? And if you tell me your investment, I can quickly tell you some of the options which can be done. It is a necessity to have a shop? No, it is not at all. It is not at all necessary, and not necessarily your shop, even if you have, is rightly suited for a particular business. So always get what business needs, not what you have resource. But if you want to get into any kind of retail business, this is a good time because rentals are low. You can really get some very, very good deals. So friends, this was today's session, and I hope I was able to give you some insights. And if I summarize my discussion, first, set your mindset, set the date where you want to start your business. Maybe today, the biggest take home you should take is that you have decided that this is a date you want to really give to yourself and you want to start your own business. That's very important. Once you have done that, always remember to do these 4 dots to be connected. The industry you're choosing, the brand you're choosing, the financial goal you have, and finally, the micro market you have. Always understand what funding and how it is going to come to your business. Never overestimate. And I think, remember my rule, 40% of your capital investment should be kept as your working capital. 40%. Whatever that money you have allocated, which you easily have, 40% of that capital has to be kept for your working capital. Working capital is critical for the business. Then get on to the next level. Do your right contracts, right structure. Don't hire good advisors, consultants, lawyers to do your right contract. Never do any business with anybody without structuring a contract. Even if you're partnering with your friend, you need to have a proper contract with him. Even if it is 20-year-old friend, because this is business, and business things can go wrong and relationships can go wrong. Once that is done, then get on to starting your business cycle. Business cycle is incubation, stability, growth, and sustainability. Once you have achieved sustainability in business, you have 2 choices. Either duplicate the same thing which you have done. I've written a book called Reproducing Success. You can duplicate that success, or you can really sell that business and cash out of that. So this is a journey of an entrepreneur. Journey of an entrepreneur starts with really committing himself that I will put my best and learn myself the business, running the business, stabilizing the business, sustainable, make it sustainable, and then really create an event where you can cash out. If you are able to do this journey right, then you are only successful entrepreneur. Because entrepreneur, anybody can become. Rather, we study a lot of things in our life and then start entrepreneurship, which is not actually taught to us. I think it should be taught in schools. People should be learning very early stage how to become an entrepreneur, because entrepreneur has to do a lot of things, from innovation to execution to troubleshooting, and a lot of things have to be there, and also big risk-taking appetite. Risk is itself a very important aspect in entrepreneur life. Every moment you have to decide and take risk. If you hire somebody, you're not too sure that I'm hiring right, it can go wrong. So every moment you have to make decisions. You will have to become a very strong decision maker. And some decisions go right for you, some decisions are not right for you. And you need to correct and learn from that. And then you draw your pattern. The pattern would come, and that pattern you can really follow. So friends, thank you very much. I will also put my direct number. If you want to send me feedback or any question you have on a WhatsApp, please do that. And there is a hotline number which my colleague Kanika has also shared. That's a hotline number if you want to set up an appointment for Advantage program and you want to take help on doing this. So, Mr. Radhakrishna, there is obviously 20-30 lakh rupees will not get you a full restaurant. You can start a QSR. You can start a QSR or a cafe or an ice cream parlor or any other things like that, Hosur is a good market. What are the options available for 50 lakh rupees, under 50 lakh rupees? So many options available. You can really select any kind of opportunities. Yesterday, we launched an opportunity in e-vehicle, which is the future. A very good opportunity depending on which city you are. And Harpreet, you can reach us and we will be able to share a lot of options for you, which options you can really take and start your business. So thank you very much. Thanks for your time today, and really appreciate you taking time out. Continue to come to our shows. There is a Bharat franchise show happening tomorrow, Sunday. And if you've not been part of that, where we present a lot of collective opportunities, and all these opportunities are available on our Facebook page, Franchise India Brands Facebook. There are about 700 videos. If you start now, it will take 2 years for you to really cover those videos. It's a very, very large content and library we've created for our investors who want to start the right business. So thank you very much. Thanks for your time today. Really appreciate you taking time out.